Just record me here now. So we are in Carrickmacross here, County Monaghan. We're about to have speakers and a protest about the mass immigration invasion into Carrickmacross. They're seeing a lot of antisocial behaviour. The people are not happy. Women and children can't walk the streets. Men can't walk the streets. Only a week or so ago there was a Roma wielding a knife, attacking people. Young Irishmen in this town have been killed in the past few years. It's now very unsafe. The town's dead. Businesses are dying. And the people of Carrickmacross never had a say. And there's local businessmen that are making hundreds of millions from this area, and they're destroying their own town, destroying their own country, all for the sake of money. So we are here to support the people of Carrickmacross. Carrickmacross says no, so enjoy the live streams, show your support, join as a member, distribute the newspapers, get involved, join as a member. So cameraman's going to do some live streaming there now. See you all soon.
We're always here willing to fight for fight to exist. Okay, this is our only home we have in Ireland, and we need to protect it. Okay, so whatever's happening that's causing this country to be turned into another shithole, we need to do something about it. Okay, and the people in our town that may be causing it to go that way need to be exposed. So the people that run that Carrickmacross Facebook page need to be commended for what they're putting out and putting light on what is wrong. Okay, a lot of these people are willing to flood our towns with all these illegal migrants that are causing our town to turn into a shithole. And you know, when these people are being exposed, it's not so comfortable for them. When people know what they're doing, it's not comfortable for them. So basically that's just it. Whoever's coming up next, I'll let you know. Okay? Right, hello everyone. This is John Wilson coming up here to speak to us. John Wilson has been on the scene for a long time and needs to be commended for all the things he's been exposed in. So I'll give it over to John Wilson now, okay?
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for the invitation to come here and speak to you again. I thought the last time you had enough of me, but anyway, I'm glad I got the invitation to come back. Can I just say one thing? You know, people power does work, and evidence of that is the fact that the people of Coolick have won. They have stopped the Crown Paint Centre being used as a plantation centre. Our quizzling government and politicians that have given various reasons for not going ahead with the plantation centre in the old Crown Paint Factory. But the elephant in the room is the real reason. Now, I don't condone violence, but if the government had been stupid enough to go ahead with that building and use it as a new plantation centre, they would have had to have recruited 10,000 members of Garda Síochána to protect it. I don't condone violence, but that's a fact. That's the real reason they're not going ahead with it, because of people power. People power stopped that plantation centre from going ahead. Now, after my speech the last day here, one man made the comment to me that I'm an outsider, that I shouldn't have been here. Now, I have a clear message for that man and all the other people like him. Every Irish man and every Irish woman is a local in every part of our country. Rick Munn reminded me of the Sinn Féin slogan during the last general election. It was "Change starts here." Well, I have news for you, Mary Lou. Change starts here with this movement.
Yes! Yes!
Micheál Martin has changed the name. I know you're all busy people, you don't realise this, but Micheál Martin has changed the name of Ireland to New Ireland. He doesn't recognise the old Ireland anymore, it's now New Ireland. Micheál Martin does not like narrow nationalism. Now, the definition of narrow nationalism is sentiments. Narrow nationalistic sentiments refer to strong feelings of attachment or loyalty towards one's own country or ethnic group. How many people here have strong feelings of attachment or loyalty towards Ireland? Every one of us. Micheál Martin is a traitor. He's a traitor. I'll go so far as to say, and we've had a few rogues as Taoiseach in our, since we got our independence. But Micheál Martin and Simon Harris are the two weakest leaders we have ever had in this country. But weak men are dangerous men. Martin and Harris have brought treachery against the Irish people to a new level. So they have. Keir Starmer made a couple of very important announcements over the last week. Now this is Keir Starmer, the most totalitarian Prime Minister that the UK has ever had. But it's surprising that what happens when you're hammered in a few elections. He made a couple of statements and he said that Britain is in danger of becoming an island of strangers. We can say the same thing about Ireland. But he's going to introduce new hardline policies in relation to immigration, in relation to legal immigration and in relation to illegal immigration. He has vowed to stop the invasion of his country, to stop the boats coming in from France, and to stop the people, he's going to try and control legal immigration as well, because they're coming into the UK in their millions. But that's going to create extra problems for ourselves here, because people are going to flood in here in greater numbers. Because as the UK becomes a more unwelcoming place for these people, they're all going to come to Treasure Island. That's a sad reality, that's a fact, unfortunately. And our weak, quisling government will do absolutely nothing to stop them coming in here. They will not, under no circumstances will they change their policies. As far as they're concerned, we are the far right, we are enemies of Ireland, but sadly it's the other way around. Our quisling government are enemies of the Irish people. And as I said the last time, every politician that voted for the EU Migration Pact is an enemy of the Irish people. It's that simple. They are enemies of the Irish people. Now, as you're aware, there was a protest in Bundoran last Saturday night against a proposed plantation centre in the town. Okay, a small little town. All right. There's a plan to bring in, I think, up to between 70 and 80 Somalians and plant them in the middle of Bundoran. And an ex-Sinn Féin councillor appeared on Ocean FM radio early on this week, and he attacked the protesters, and he criticised them for flying the Irish flags. He criticised them for flying our national flag, okay? It's time to give this man a history lesson about the Irish flag and about his behaviour. He condemned the people of Bundoran who protested last Saturday against the proposed plantation centre in the town, and he also criticised the people for carrying our national flag, which he stated stands for tolerance and inclusion. Now, the words tolerance and inclusion are the buzzwords of they're the two main buzzwords of the most intolerant people in the country, of the most intolerant people in society. They trot out these words about diversity, tolerance, inclusion. But this man, obviously, he needs a history lesson, and I'm going to attempt to give him one here. The history of the Irish tricolour. It dates back to 1848. There was a great Irish patriot called Thomas Francis Meagher. He went on a trip to France, and while he was in Paris, he was given a tricolour by French women that were very supportive of the Irish nationalist cause. The green, white, and orange. The green part of the flag represents the Catholic people of Ireland, and the orange part of the flag represents the Protestant people of Ireland, and the white part of the flag represents the peace between them. Okay, it doesn't Our precious national flag does not represent the Somalians that have been forcibly imposed on the people of Bundoran. Right? It's our flag and our flag alone. Okay? But it's time that that message was sent to Sinn Féin and our other quisling politicians. That's a fact. It's our flag, it's our country. We are going nowhere. We are the indigenous people in this country, and we are not going to be eradicated. As I said before, Irish people are only 0.06% of the population of this world. 0.6% of the population of this world. That's all we are. And within 100 years, we'll be a small little ethnic minority living on the island of Ireland. That's where we're heading to. I don't mean to scaremonger anybody, that is a fact. Our birth rate is not even matching it's not even at replacement level compared to even 20, 30 years ago. And bearing in mind that the birth rate that's quoted every year here is the birth rate of all the babies born in Ireland, not just babies born to Irish women. So the actual birth rate for Irish women is actually lower than that, lower than the published figure. The fabric of our society, the fabric of our country is being destroyed by many of those that our government are allowing into the country. All you have to do is look at Rick Munn Station or Risnor Award or follow Philip Dwyer or Niall McConnell in Donegal or other quality podcasters or YouTube contributors. That's all you have to do. Don't take my word for it. And the invasion of our country is being enthusiastically supported by Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, Sinn Féin et al. With Sinn Féin being among the loudest cheerleaders for our government's disasters. With Sinn Féin being amongst the loudest cheerleaders for our government's disastrous immigration policies. Sinn Féin are unique due to the fact that they are destroying Ireland in two languages, in English and in Irish. Australia, August Oscarga. But the one thing we are lacking in this movement is unity. We need unity. There are too many little splinter groups around the country. We need unity. And unity is our government's worst enemy. They have no problem with little groups meeting in Carrickmacross and in various other parts of the country, Bundoran, and in Cork and in Wicklow and throughout the country. They have no problem with small little groups meeting and marching. And they throw out this lie, oh, these meetings were infiltrated by outsiders. As I alluded to earlier, we are all locals. Every Irishman and every Irish woman is a local in every single part of this country. This is Ireland, our Ireland, and we will fight like hell to save it. Thank you very much.
Right, well done, John. Another speaker here, Damien, is coming up to talk about the iPass centres and how they work, because he's been approached about it himself and he's turned it down. So give a good round of applause for that.
Hello everyone. I'm not local, so I'll introduce myself. My name is Damien and I have a construction company and I own a bar and a restaurant in County Meath. When the war in Ukraine started in 2022, the council reached out to properties looking for accommodation for Ukrainian women and children, and their offer worked out about $35,000 a month.
Hold the mic here, boy.
Without negotiation. We have 6 rooms. We would generally have about €5,000 worth of accommodation sales per month, so this was some offer. We agreed. After cancelling all bookings, we couldn't get clarification on what was going on and who exactly was being sent to us, so the contract was cancelled. But I did make them pay for the time they had blocked the accommodation from being booked by others. Fast forward to recently, and we were contacted again about housing men, and the rate they now pay is €84 per person per night, and apparently you can put 4 in a room. That works out at over 2,000 a night, over 60,000 a month, nearly €750,000 a year for a house. Food, and if required, transport was on top of that, and that would not include whatever they were receiving themselves personally.
Agreed.
As I contemplated taking the money, I thought to myself, I don't live here, it's not going to affect me, but how will it affect the people of this area? Was there any positives for the community? With the accommodation gone, our overseas tourists and people attending weddings in the venues nearby would no longer be able to avail of that service. In the bar, restaurant, we cater for funerals, communions, birthdays, parties. That's gone. We are rural, so it's a place where local farmers get a chance to meet and have a pint, chat, and a bit of crack. They won't come here if there's 30 men hanging around outside. The school buses drop and collect kids from our car park. Will they feel safe? I concluded there was no benefit to the community and no quality of life for the men. The only benefit was to me financially. I have a nice house and a nice family. I don't need anything else. We declined.
Good man! Good man!
But it raised some other concerns for me. I regularly drive through Finglas in Dublin, and there are Irish men and women sleeping in tents on the roundabout and under the bridge of the M50 and N2. They are there for 2 years. Why can't they do this for them? They were willing to pay me $60,000 a month for this, yet my kids' school have been fundraising for months to get, coincidentally enough, $60,000 to build a playground in their school, as there's no money available from the Department of Education. Obviously that $60,000 is being used by another department. The amount the government are paying these landlords is insane. This needs to be negotiated downwards, because purely from a financial point of view, if I was so inclined to take the offer, I would have done it for half the price. I think maybe the reason there is no political will to do this is that there are politicians like Healy Ray and others with financial interests in this type of business. The people arriving in seeking asylum are merely a form of currency for some of these landlords and people bringing them in. And sometimes those people are one and the same. They don't care about them. They will stack them high in warehouses and factories, charging astronomical fees, which the government, it seems, are happy to pay. Actually, under a HICWA inspection, one hotel was found to have 10 men in one room. And they don't care about the effects on local communities by putting hundreds of men with nothing to do but walk the streets into small communities. There's so much more that could be said, but I'll leave it at this. Should the government stop allowing small communities like this to be destroyed and wasting taxpayers' money? We are not going to solve the housing crisis by adding more people to it, unless those people are actually skilled construction workers. It might actually be cheaper to pay the EU fines and let another EU country provide this. To the businessmen like Banty and the likes who have made millions from the scam, when is enough enough? How much more money do you really need?
Well done, that was like a lot of information for a lot of people. Like, that's a guy that has turned down the opportunity to turn his area into a shithole, and like that's the fact of it is like he's been offered to flood his business with people with zero security clearance or anything like that, and he turned it down. You have to give him credit for that. Okay, so the next man up is Mark Brady. We got about over 400 votes in the local elections. You have to give him credit for that, and I give you over to Mark Brady, okay? Good evening, everybody. I hope you all brought your pitchforks. Just a year or so ago, we were all standing here. We were all called racist, and the next thing we were called far right. We're now all terrorists, according to RTE. The mainstream media load of shit that we had to pay 725 million to bail out. Now they're telling around and calling us terrorists. It's their democratic right to protest peacefully in this country. We're all doing it because why? We're ordinary, decent, hard-working people, and we just want to stay safe and happy in our own homes. And RTE's laying through their teeth about it. If they went bankrupt, when we pay our TV license, what's going to happen now when we stop paying them? Leave them dry. They're waging the war for the government against us with their fake news and hiding the truth from us.
This whole thing is all a great money laundering operation. It's a transfer of wealth. Everything we do has been taken for granted. We don't realise it. They're raping us with a cactus. They're taking every penny we have off us. They're bleeding us dry. It's a transfer of wealth. And that's what we have to stop. If the money train stops, then we get our country back. But the next thing we need to do to get our country back, each and every one of you here tonight has to do one task before we come back here. The ball has to be on not just us, on everybody here. Everybody here. Bring one more person with us the next night. And we'll get that movement down in every county. Then we head to Dublin. And we'll pull them out of the down. Thank you.
We are not the one in Dublin. You're away.
Well done, Mark. Some man to raise up the spirits there, I'll tell you that. Next up, we've got Katrina, another woman that's been around the scene a long time, and give us an opportunity to speak, okay?
Good evening, everybody. My name's Katrina. I'm from Carrickmacross, born and raised. My family have been here for generations, as far back as I can literally research. I also want to say thank you very much to the Carrickmacross Community Watch Group. They're unbelievable. Without them, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't know anything. I see people giving out and comments and things like that, and really, those people don't deserve that. They should be let do the job they're doing. It's amazing. Okay. I'm basically going to tell you a little story. It's from the heart. It's a sunny day in July 1982. A bonny baby girl is born. She's brought home to Carrickmacross. Her parents delighted with their new baby girl. The 80s were a tough time for mothers and fathers, but they worked hard and bellies were full. Now, let's time travel to 1990. That girl goes out to play on another sunny day. She plays sideline, 45 in, Red Rover, hopscotch, hula hoops, and she flies about on her roller skates, making fond childhood memories, not a care in the world. Street lights whir on. Uh-oh, time for home. Okay, let's move forward. It's 1995, and the girl has just turned 13. A confusing time, a sometimes difficult time for girls, but a time when she starts to want to explore, to feel more independent. Her mother sends her to boardies for the Northern Standard, and up to Super Value to get some bread. On to Crosby's Butchers to get ham for her daddy's packed lunch for the morning. The girl loves to go shopping and feel all grown up, just like her mammy. Now, we're going to take a massive jump. It's 2012. The girl has become a mother. She has just been blessed with a beautiful baby girl. Sadly, she lost 2 beautiful baby girls the year before. So this baby girl, whom some would describe as her rainbow baby, is extra special. Because this girl is so special, she was given the name Erin. The girl, who is now a mother, dreams of her daughter's childhood and what it will be like. Playing outside until the street lights go on, not a care in the world. It's now 2025, and Erin has just turned 13. Her mother can't send her to boardies, can't send her to Super Value, can't send her anywhere on the main street. Her mother can't give her that little sense of freedom, the little bit of responsibility, that little life lesson. Erin wants to go to the park with her friends. This very park. Her mother can't send her there. Erin has little to no freedom. Why? It's been sold!
Yeah!
I am that 1982 baby. I am that 90s girl. I am that mother. I am a woman, a natural woman, who dreamt of giving my daughter childhood memories, the sense of responsibility, independence, and little life lessons. But it's all been sold. Carrickmacross has been sold. Sold by greedy landlords, sneaky business people, and politicians who facilitate them with their brown envelopes, who walk and live amongst us all. Oh, and just a little note. The streets in the 90s up the town may have been covered in cow dung, but you know what? That was a sign of a thriving agriculture. It reminds me of the freedom I had as a child back then. It's time to say no more!
No more! No more! No more!
Well done, Katrina. That was unreal. Fair play to her. Listen, is there anyone out there that wants to talk or say something about why they're here? If you want to say something.
Niall McConnell.
Paddy Martin here. It's good to get us going here. Thanks.
Well, folks, some of you know me, some of you don't. But as Blackhair was saying earlier, in the 80s and 90s was the time here in this town, right? And we can take that back if we get together and, you know, just do something about it. I was thinking of setting up like a community watch, right? That page is called Community Watch, but actually a physical one, where actually see somebody on the street. There's people complaining about, you know, not fit to walk the streets, right? Why not get out and do something about it? This is the 4th meeting in this town. This is the 3rd March, and there was a meeting in the Shirley Arms. What has come from it? Fucking nothing. And it'll fucking keep going that way.
Here, here!
All the everybody does is to fucking come out and do nothing. Listen, talk, and go home. I just heard from a girl close to me earlier that I was saying it was a bad turnout tonight. It's an absolute disgrace, hey. There was a great opportunity tonight to double the number from the last time. If we take the people from outside Carrickmacross away from this group tonight, they nearly fit in there in the goalpost. It's a fucking absolute disgrace. I'm a Killarney man, right? Grew up in Carrickmacross. I've seen the changes. I was a young father at fucking 16. That country's gone. But I'm fucking passionate to get that fucking back, hey? And I'd do anything to do it. Is there anybody else?
I do it!
They will. That's fucking great. That's great. Now, I think things have to be done. You can have all these meetings, all this thing on Facebook, and all these discussions. Maybe I shouldn't be saying it, but things have to go on the ground a wee bit. It's going to go fucking back to years ago when lads were meeting in sheds and meeting in the back of somebody's sitting room and organising bits and pieces. Well, them bits and pieces want to be fucking done again, and very, very soon, because time is running out, and every week we can't keep up with everything that's happening. No matter who you talk to, it's something new. They heard something, and talking to a man there earlier, hey, told me a couple of things. I told him a couple of things. He had nothing. He hadn't a clue. RB, a bit of a story came from RB last week about these vape shops and the barbers. That these boys are getting 50,000 to start up their business. The first year, to get their 50 grand, doesn't matter what to do. They could just keep the door open. They're €1,000 a week. The second year, they get 20 grand if the business doesn't go well. The third year, to get another 20. They can keep it open, or they can get their 20 and get out. That came from a man that knows his stuff. And why are these trade shops open and the barbers? I have no idea. I just don't know. As I say, there's that much happening. But it is sad to hear that girl. She grew up like us all here. And just to see it all dwindling away, hey, it's fucking frustrating, hey. But you'd question yourself why you nearly come into a town when you know that 98% of the people that's in that town is sitting at home. Why is that? We are here for them. What do you need to do? What is wrong with the people? What is wrong? The mentality there, it's mind-boggling. It's just absolutely crazy. It's an absolute disgrace to turn out from Carrickmacross today. And I don't fucking care who says it to me or what I know about it. I fucking know enough about it. It's an absolute disgrace. A fucking disgrace to this town. You see that lad that threw that knife in the street? He done more for Carrickmacross that Sunday than 20,000 people from around this area could do for 10 years marching. He put us on the map. It was everywhere. It was everywhere. Now that has dwindled a wee bit. Where is it? It's fucking gone. If people had to come out and march and, come out of their houses. But no. And probably the next time, hey, there'll be less people here. Why is that? You're a man there now, you're not a head there. You're a bit of an older man. Could you?
We have the same in Ballybay, won't get up at their arses.
What do you think's wrong?
They're fucking pure lazy bastards.
You see, I'll tell you what's wrong with a lot of these. The normal 5'8" person is nearly afraid to speak. I'm not a speaker. I wouldn't be great at getting myself across. But I have morals. And by Jesus, I'm a fucking Irishman, I'll fucking tell you that, hey. But I have kids, I have grandchildren, right? And just to let it all go, there's too many people, just let them at it. Said that at the meeting above in Shirley Arms. The older people. And even I hear younger people, also let them at it. If it's not affecting them, let somebody else do it. Why are they so fucking tick? It is affecting them. If the kids at school, if they walk on the streets, it's affecting everybody. The taxes, people just don't talk. There is probably more information here on bits and pieces that's irrelevant to this here tonight. And people don't want to say it. Why? I just can't get over it. But I'll say it again. I would wonder why people come into a town. The outsiders, sorry, not outsiders, but people supporting Carrickmacross, and then their own don't come out. What is fucking going on in this country? Or maybe the half-one's fucking bought as well, I don't know. But a lot of them, I suppose, are in maybe working different sectors where they can't be seen out these rallies and different things. So, look at, if there's anybody from Cowell, there'll be loads of people looking at different Carrick. The next one that's on, we just get up the fuck out of the fucking seats and walk the fucking streets like everybody else. Really, for fuck's sake.
Well, right. I do understand that man's frustration, and he's probably is correct in terms of setting up maybe a community watch, like like a proper feet on the street, maybe, or something like that. You know, especially at night time. You know what I mean? So that's definitely something we have to look into. And like people do need, like marching is good. Like we remember the water charges, like they were serious marches and they did resolve in some ways. But so the winds is in our sails. We have to remember that. Like the government are on the back foot here. So we need to just keep going, keep positive, and keep talking to each other, and just denies us, and that's going on in the town we don't like. Make sure we tell people about it. Tell the Carrick Community Watch page about it. They'll always publicise it. You know, like we do know of a certain individual that's pretty famous, and he's just been exposed there recently, and he put out like a teary-eyed, you know, post there recently about, oh, I sure didn't know what I was doing. But he knew what he was doing. He knew. But like he didn't want anyone else to know what he was doing. And that's what, you know what I mean? So that's the exposure of all these people in our communities that are trying to destroy it for money. They're dealing in flesh. That's what they're doing. Dealing in flesh and destroying our towns. But we need to stay positive, stick together, and come up with solutions to try and resolve it. And that man said that that's definitely something we're going to do. All right, so this girl here is going to play a fiddle, and we'll play the national anthem, and then we'll walk up the street. Okay? Well, just one more speaker here until we get to the fiddle. We've got Val Martin. Val Martin's been on the scene a long time, and he's a really good speaker. And we went for local elections there recently, and got 1,500 votes. You know what I mean? So a lot of people have ran in the local elections recently, and it's the first time out. And one of them got 800 votes, one of them got 400 votes, and this man here got nearly 1,500 votes. So you have to give these guys credit. There is hope. People are doing something. So you have to give them credit and have to support them, okay? So, there you go, man.
Thank you very much. And anyone that voted for me, thank you very much. I'm from Kingscourt, born on a farm, and I worked in various jobs. And I joined on Garda Síochána, and I was a guard for 32 years. I was always on outdoor duty, and I was a detective sergeant in Cavan, going around trying to solve crime and catch fellows for breaking into shops and help the old people who was attacked and all that stuff, and keep boots and all that. But part of my duty was to monitor migration coming into the county. And it wasn't a big job. We had two staff, two guards there that met them every other Monday. The people come into the station and they put their case to the reasons to come in, mainly medical people, and often they get a cup of tea and there was no big hassle. One or two were sent home, mainly students who couldn't pass their exams. There is no problem monitoring migration. The guards would send it up to the Department of Justice. The Department of Justice would check out what the story is and evaluate the whole thing, and they were limited what came in, and everything went on grand. That's some change that happened in 2004 when all this stuff began to happen. Now remember, I also have another hat I wear about all this mad energy policy, and I fought this in the High Court for 3 days against Airgrid. And the first thing to remember is that we joined the European Union, the Single European Act. In Ireland is one of the few countries where they had to have a referendum, and it was passed. And the foundation of that Single European Act was the Treaty on the Foundation of the European Union. And that had the common travel area within the EU only. It had nothing about the rest of the world.
The next thing was the Lisbon Treaty, and it was rejected the first time, but the second time it was passed. Now, it had nothing about bringing in people from the rest of the world. It had guarantees on environment. Unfortunately, it's rather silent on whether people can come from the rest of the world or not. There is a common travel area and a common work area within the EU. So we're kind of caught with that. That's what we agreed to in the treaties. But now we have a different situation. We have a situation where they can come here from anywhere. And what's happening is they're arriving into Southern Europe and into Germany. And according to the law, the first country they arrive in, that's where they should claim asylum. And what's happening then is our government agreed to cancel all that, throw that to the wind, and allow them come from Italy, Germany, as the EU, Ursula von der Leyen, dictated. So they can lorry them in here from anywhere in Europe to get them out of their way and put them in here. Now, our government agreed to that. They agreed to the Schengen agreement. They went over and they agreed to it. Now, they'll tell you, oh, it's EU law. They agreed to the law. They could have vetoed that law, but they didn't do it. So that's enough of that. I just want to let you know the basic rules of the game. One of the things that got me into this was about 15 years ago, I became aware that a Catholic woman called Asi Bibi was sentenced to death in Pakistan for what they call blasphemy. She was working picking food with a crowd of Muslim women, essentially, and a row developed, which can happen. But unfortunately, instead of her getting a fine or whatever she said or whoever she insulted, she got sentenced to be hanged. And she was 6 years on death row, and her children could come up to the prison and shout into her every evening to their mother that was expected to die. And the judge said, it went on, her solicitor was shot, was killed. And the people were all wanting her hanged. It was like the crucifixion, crucify him, crucify him. And it went to eventually to a judge, a senior judge, and the senior judge realised this was not a very good looking thing. And he said, if any country will take this family, we'll get them out of here, and that'll sort that. Quite all right, I was very relieved. I tried my best to get her in here, along with Brendan Howland, funny enough, a Labour man. I'm not no fan of them, but he and a man called Patrick Manning, we wrote to everyone to try and let her come in here. And I have a farm over in Kingscote, and I'd have given her a place for a little hut or whatever, and welcome her in, and we'd go to Mass and all. They refused. The blackguards wouldn't let her in. That'll tell you what we're dealing with. That'll tell you. And she would not change her religion because she said she couldn't give up on Jesus Christ. Right, enough said. So what's the story? Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, you wouldn't expect anything from a pig but a grunt. There are neighbours, there are relations. And to hell with them. Fianna Fáil, my father told me he'd hit me with a spade if I didn't vote Fianna Fáil. But that was in a different time. There was none of this going on. But there is now. And they are all for this. And those that aren't will tell you privately, I don't agree with it, but I can do nothing. And then, of course, we have people before puberty and them other idiots and the Greens and all that push this. They put notices up in Africa to invite these people in. There is no persecution over there. The French were ripping them off in many African countries, taking their gold and all. But there is one party you would have expected, an Irish Nationalist Party, that as a retired Garda I would have issues with. But then all of the previous parties had, even Michael Collins agreed or accepted there had to be some violence, he felt, but as soon as he could get it sorted, he kind of did. So you would expect that a nationalist party of Nationalist Ireland that was against all the landlords and all the robbing of our goods and everything else, however good or bad it was, and got our freedom, you would expect that they would be the ones who would stand up for us. And that is Sinn Féin. I would be prepared to say what's done is done. I stood at the ground looking at dead guards and soldiers. I brought the doctors to some of them. Shot through the head, God be good to them. I had to go to my colleagues' funerals. I'm not particularly political as such. I'm an Irishman, but I don't agree. I want to see a peaceful solution to our problems. Now, what is wrong? Well, I can tell you, Matt Carthy had a meeting there in the Shirley Arms. I was at it. All humpy talk, all happy talk. And it was the same when we tried to do with the pylons and the windmills away over Meath. Oh, well, we're with you. But he done nothing. They're illegal, and he would not raise it in the Dáil. He have never raised it in the Dáil. And his man, Declan Kearney, is his national organiser in Belfast, and he has said he craves a multicultural society. A multicultural society. Now, I don't know where this comes from. It's a bit happening all over the world as well. But it could be that they feel because the big land, big drum was being battered up and down Armagh, that maybe what we'll do is we'll give them that many migrants and other people that we'll get our own back that way. I don't think that's the answer. But the point is, our little republic has to take it too. We have to take it too. And remember, our government would not let in ACBB. That's the measure. This is pushed by the World Economic Forum, by a big heap of people, and recently in England, you'll hear Sinn Féin saying, oh, Nigel Farage, he's an awful lad. He won a few elections over there, and the minute he won them, Keir Starmer, or Rip Roden, for this mass migration and other things, he tried to put them out. He went to Albania the day before yesterday, and he asked the Prime Minister of Albania, will you take a heap of them from Britain? And the Prime Minister said, hump off. Hump off. And he's gone round now to see where he can put them. And if he can, he'll dump them in here, and our Jalubas will take them. So, enough said. Enough said. What are we going to do? I stood for election on this. A lot of people came in and thought they'd get elected. Oh, we'd all be TDs. It was a tall order. I got 1,449 votes. Generally, we got 3,000 votes in Carrickmacross. I was the best known. I'm a farmer as well, and I'm known around the marks and everything. And I didn't do too bad, but I still wasn't in with a chance. A funny thing, 670 of my votes transferred when I was eliminated to the A2 candidate, Sarah O'Reilly. That's just a point of information. Now, the thing about it is, what are we going to do? Our neighbours don't seem to give a tuppenny damn. They're still going to vote the same as they always did. Unless there's a change. I am lost for ideas, and maybe somebody before me here had better ideas. So we can think that out, and I'm here long enough. But one of the things I'm doing... Well, I'm here long enough talking. One thing... Thank you. One thing I am doing... This chat is concerning people a bit, but it's not enough to get them to mark that ballot paper. It's not enough to persuade them to move over and give it to people like me or anyone else. But what I am doing is, in my private life, I bring this up all the time and tell them straight. I'll point to this lady just to do show. You're the cause of it. You know what I mean? I'm not pointing at you. You're the cause of it. Why? You're the cause of it. You will not change your vote. Oh, I will, yeah. And you'll see them looking down like this. Look at that. You can't even look straight at me. If you consider the way the apostles, I don't like to be religious about this, the way they tried to spread the gospel, they knew it wasn't going to be easy. I'm not saying that. This is not going to be easy. We got to pin them down and say, you're the one that had the chance to fix this, and you wouldn't do it. And your own kids won't be able to get a house. We have a situation where all our children are going abroad, and they have our energy destroyed, our industry's been destroyed all over Europe as well, and now the crowd in Europe are having fired us on about climate change, are now trying to fire up the steel plants and get armies built up to fight Putin. The fact is about Putin. My friend, and not just name him, but I'll tell you privately, was in Odessa in 2014. And there was a revolution started by the Americans. There was a prime minister there who was for everybody. He tried to have a peace between them all. And they put him out, and the Americans helped to put him out, and the British. But when they put him out, they drove a lot of the people in Odessa and in other parts up into buildings and set the buildings alight. They murdered at least 3,000 Russian people, which would be the equivalent as if the nationalists in the north, for example, murdered a whole heap of unionists up there and burnt them alive. That's what happened. That is real. My friend was there when that has happened. Yet when you turn on RTE, oh, big bad Putin, big bad Putin. Big bad Putin isn't doing what they're doing to our country. He's not doing it to Russia. He's not doing it. And the thing about that is that they did this in several of the eastern provinces, and they left Putin with very little option but to do something about it. And they're still thinking they're going to beat him. They still think they're going to wallop him. Well, I can tell you the big thing we got to look for. We're not having our children fighting Russia. We have more to worry about our crowd and the EU than we have Putin. Putin won't touch us. And that's the next thing, to remove the triple lock and get the three protections that's in the Constitution for our neutrality for 12 people or more. They want to remove that, and they'll have our lads and lassies over there fighting the Russians. And we got to remember that'll fairly sicken them, and it'll not be the Fine Gael hired children and the Fianna Fáil and Sinn Féin that'll be going. It'll be the ordinary working lad, the son of some lad that wanted to be a soldier, and he finds out doing this. Look, I've spoke long enough. They have to scam with their energy. That's all a make-up scam. They have the World Economic Forum. They have Klaus Schwab, he had to go. And they had the Democrats in America. Now, I don't want to get presently political, but every time you turn on the radio, it's always big bad Trump, big bad Putin. And they're trying to overcome this. These people that are coming here, the people that are coming here, a lot of them wouldn't come here if they weren't given such unbelievably high inducements. There's an Afghan fella there, genuinely, on YouTube. He's getting 500 a week. Now, we still can have a few of them, and we still don't let them tell you, oh, I had a Polish plumber. They're entitled to be here. EU citizens are entitled to be here, unless they commit crime. But the rest of the world is not entitled to be here. And when people start whinging, it's too bad about me, you ask them the simple question, how many do you want in? Is it 100,000? Is it 1 million? Is it 60 million? There's 8 billion people in the world. When we went to England long ago, our people, we were only at the best 250,000 going into a population of 56 million. When we went to America, another country, we were going into a country which has a population of 300 million, and a good few people within there, and we worked. We are accommodating people who want to come here to do a good day's work. I meet them in shops, people from different places who are assessed and checked, and they're nice people, and among our friends, and as the priest says somewhere, only for the Poles I'd have nobody. We're not against those people at all. We would always have a bit on our people going. But we must look after the future. What they're doing now is, they're passing on the debt now onto their grandchildren, and now they're passing on our darling wee country. When you look at it like this, when you look at it this evening, they're leaving our grandchildren that they will never be able to enjoy their country the way we did. Folks, I've said enough. If there are any questions, I'll try to ask them. We are right in this. Right is on our side. And I was accused a few times of being a racist. I am a racist. I am racist against Irish people who push this in the ballot box, who go in and vote for this. I don't like them. I don't care who they are. I don't care if they live over there or over there. I'm not racist against an Indian person, an African, or anyone else. I used to visit America. I had an African chap there. We used to go drinking, and we'd start all over New York and go into rows and everything. I'm not against that at all. If we had a black pope, I didn't care. That's not what racist is. Don't forget too about Ukraine. It's full of Hitler Nazis. Died in the world, Hitler Nazis. And we're listing them condemning Nazis. And we're the ones that's right wing. And when you put on RT, they're the ones that are the goodies. Folks, I've said enough to be here. I don't have all the answers. You never know if you try hard enough and you do your best. We could get lucky. It's a question now of limiting the damage that has already been done. Because if we don't manage to stop it some way, well, I don't have to tell you the result. Folks, thank you. Huh? Yes. If you have an election here, they would only elect a councillor at best. You will not get a TD on that. So, of course, for everyone that's here, there's probably 10 people at home. Politically, I cannot tell you how we persuade the traditional voter to change. I'm looking at them every day when they have me dinner, when I'm dealing with people in shops, and I say, why will you not be trying to do something about what's going on? And I do not have the answer to that. All I can say is we must never accept it as normal. This is not normal. Not normal at all. It was never normal. And if we're racist, how come this was the law till 2004? Well, we racist in 2000. Because the whole government had control. Because I was involved in it. It's all about assessing who comes in and making sure we have the numbers we need, we have the services that we can handle it, we have the houses we can handle it. These crowd of idiots can't build a children's hospital after 10 years. So this is what we're dealing with. But it'll take a lot of thought and a lot of effort, and I have to admit to you, I put a lot of thought to it, and normally I have a good answer. With the windmills, we started going to court, we started tackling them with the planning, we started using the European Court of Justice and collecting money and doing things, and it was partially successful. I've cost them over €1 billion to date just by studying the law. Unfortunately, the law here doesn't say that there has to be a migrant quota or anything else. That's the unbelievable problem. They never put it in the Constitution because they never thought it would happen. And can I just finish, folks, and that's enough. Don't forget, I did a university degree in the Institute of Public Participation ending in 2003, and I got it. I'm proud of people around Cavan wanted to do this, ones in the VEC and everything. But I always remember, our Constitution concedes certain powers to the European Union. It concedes them. But it has conditions attached. So with the strategic environmental assessment, there has to be a proper engineering assessment to bypass that. Now, we only conceded what was in the treaties. We didn't concede anything about mass migration. That was given up by our government and can be taken back. And this is definitely the law. And this is definitely the situation as told to me by an eminent professor in Dublin, and which I agree, and John V. Kelly wrote a book, the late John V. Kelly, on this. We can take back control of our country from the EU if we have a referendum. Every single bit of legislation can be taken out. Our Constitution is the prime document, and it's the principal document, and we have conceded certain things to the EU, and that's as long as the people agree, we can always take that back. And at least once the people voted against it. I just want you to understand the real situation and the law, so that at least my presence here maybe enlightens people a wee bit. And I wouldn't tell you something if I didn't think it was fairly right. Folks, isn't that enough? Is that all right?
What about the hate speech, Val? Hate speech. We're enforcing this hate speech.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Mentioned about hate speech. Just talk that they're forcing this in again. The present minor hate speech law says that if I'm sitting in my house and someone comes in and attacks me for whatever reason, they get whatever penalty is in the law, 5 years imprisonment or whatever it is. If the person coming in goes into a house of a protected person, like a migrant or whatever, and they are motivated by hate, they get life imprisonment. You understand? So there's a two-tier system. There's one system for us. If we are attacked, we're just like every other lad. But if they are attacked by any of our people, they get life imprisonment, provided that there is evidence that it's based on these protected people. Now that's the law at present. Now there was more in it. There was a whole big law that was dropped after Sinn Féin, I think, got watery on it. And they say that's coming back again. And that effectively means that I could not stand up here without being prosecuted. We have a situation in Britain where our lady is serving a prison sentence for saying the rosary in her own house up the road from an abortion clinic. It's illegal to pray near an abortion clinic in Britain. Starmer is arresting several people. He arrested an ex-policeman, Harry Miller. Our next sergeant, I think he was too. You'll get him. His name is Harry Miller. And Harry was like me talking here, and they charged him with a crime of, now don't push me out, generally being racist or promoting hate, or words that were likely to be interpreted to promote hate or whatever. And he went all the way to the Supreme Court. And the people say, oh, old guards and old policemen, oh, to hell with them. He did that and he won. The judge said that was too broad. In other words, the print of the law is so broad that no matter what you say, you're caught. And he won that in Britain. So when it comes in here, you can be sure it'll be a carbon copy. And you have to go all the way to court. And it's not easy. For me, even to represent myself, which I'm able to do, and I'm a busy farmer, to go to the High Court in Dublin is 20 days off. 20 days to go up and down there with documents here and there to do it yourself. And this is the trouble. So this is what we need to watch out for, what they'll probably do. Will they bring it in? I don't know. Oh yes, and one thing that's just come to my mind. Remember, the people in the last election dumped out nearly all the Greens. They did not give Sinn Féin their expected big vote. So, what happened? Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil got too short of a majority. There were several independents. They ran into government with the Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. Did any of them add a condition about migration? Did any of them say, I'll only support you provided you do something? Verona Murphy was rapping about this. She became the Cancola. Michael Lowry, you mightn't expect much else there. The Healy Rays are in there. But none of them, none of the independents who were elected by the people made an issue of this. And that'll tell you, this is how they work. When they can't get elected themselves, some other lad runs, and you need to watch this in future if there's voting on this again. Watch for the Pied Piper. Watch for the lad coming in. Oh, I'll fix this. And really, when he gets in, he turned coat.
Go on, Burn.
And this happened with the Irish party. You know the Irish, the party run by, you know all the TDs, the Irish, anyway, Kieran Malooly ran for the Europe, Irish Independent Party. Right, they had a few good candidates. They picked an RTE hack. An RTE hack, Kieran Malooly. And oh, he's great, seen him on the telly. And he is 100% for this more than Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. So how do you win when you have people not seeing through that fella? The first thing he did when he got elected was to assure RTE, he said it, I support all this climate stuff and all the action of the government. So when you see that, the opposition that you appear to be getting, and Sinn Féin is the same, they present themselves as the answer to the problem, and you gotta look at them and you gotta watch them, because they'll always be there. I probably will never stand again. I'll not probably do it, but you need to have somebody who will never turn. And may I just mention, when I'm here, we see what's happening with the bowl Donald Trump in America, like him or loathe him. He is sticking to what he done. He might be creating a bit of mayhem, but he's not reneging on his promises. And that's very, very rare. And Nigel Farage may be an English country gentleman, but he is not reneging on his promises that I can see. And they are affecting them. They have the wind up the British. And the Conservative government got in, and they were worse than the Labour crowd. So folks, I want to thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope I said all right, and the best of luck to you all. Thank you.
Well, I know I was going to say Val was we saved Val for the best man for the last. You know, but anyway, there's a girl here, Larissa, just wants to say something. She says it'll only be 2 minutes, and then there's a girl going to play a fiddle, and then we're going to march up 10, and that'll be it. So we'll be all over in 10 minutes, okay?
Hey, marching up in the dark.
Don't worry, I won't keep this too long. I just had a few things to say. Like, I heard a lot of people mentioning how Carrick used to be and how it was, but see, I'm 17. I never lived through any of the past. I only heard it from my father and my granny. My whole family have lived in Carrick our whole lives. I've been born and raised in Carrick, and this is all I know. I hear from my dad about the cinema and the arcade, and that would be great, but that's not what we're dealing with. I go for a walk every day, and there is not a day that I can say some fella has stared at me and just made things weird. This town is not safe in any way, and living through that is terrifying. Like, there's been nights there where I've been out past dark, or when it's dark, and my father has had to drive through town to make sure that I got home safe, which isn't right. Nobody should have to check up on their child every 5 minutes just to make sure that they're safe in their own town. Like, I live up by O'Neill's off licence, and that's literally 2 minutes from here, and still my father has to drive around town to make sure that I am safe. And it is terrifying. I do not like living here, and I want it to change. I am only 17, so I can't really vote, but I want to make a change somehow. I'm not a public speaker, I don't know what to say here, and that's why I said I'd make it short, because I'm kind of not really great at speaking. But I just said that I need to come up here because everybody was...
Well done, sir. Well done.
Good luck, guys. Everybody talks about how it used to be, and it's good when you know what it used to be, but I don't know anything about that. I hear it from my dad, but like, I've never lived through that. I only lived through, the high prices and, going up to the shop and buying a drink for like £4 when it used to be €2. And that in its own is a problem. And, immigration and specifically asylum. Asylum is fleeing from war. But before any of this, it was the men fighting the war, but all I ever see is the males of this country, or well, other countries. If it was only women, I could understand because, the men are all fighting for the country, but they're not. They're here, fleeing from the war. And I think that needs to change.
Hold on, sir. Hold on. Right, I meant to say when we came to Val, say it's best to last, but that girl has definitely have to say she really actually done us out proud. And never give a round of applause. You're seeing from a young person's perspective and how they experience what we experience. By the way, there's a guy there, Niall McConnell, he's got a load of flags for everybody, so only two left there, so if you want the flag, go over and get it, okay? And the crowd here is going to play the fiddle and then we'll be heading up to town, okay?
Hi everyone, my name is Nicole Martin. I'm from Carrickmacross. I'm 27 and I'm here today just to represent us, and what everyone has said today is just remarkable, and I hope you are all listening, everyone here and everyone out there. We do need a change, so I hope you enjoy these few tunes.
Yo!
My dad rang me and he says, "Are you on your way home?" And I was like, "Yep, I'm on the way." And he says, "Will you come down to the protest?" I says, "Absolutely." And then he said that the singer wasn't around today, so I was like, "Sure, look, I'll bring the fiddle out and if you want me and you'll have me."
Just goes to the very front.
If a Irishman have it.
I could try and think. We'll be March 6th. That's it. The numbers are going down. It's going on too long. The national anthem. That's what I'm saying.
You get glad to meet in the pub.
Someone sing the national anthem.
Niall McConnell here is off to sing the national anthem here for us. Okay? So, here you go.
Let her rip. Everyone sing I Run the Vein. Shanna Fina Fall a Taffy Alligaron Windar Slew Heart in Dorangin Fwe Voj Fesir Shan Shir Shan Sharfasta Niag for Fichir Anafrin Trial Anokta him Sabarna Pwil Legana him John Bash no seal Legana Skri Philavat Navile Shanaktani Aran Levin. Right, we'll finish that now. Just for people just to remember, we were doing these about a couple of years ago, and there used to be only like 20 people here. You know what I mean? So if people feel that this started, that was not as many here as last time, just remember there's way more here than we're normally used to. So really be prepared yourselves, and we're on the right track. So just keep it up and keep positive, and let's head up to town, okay?
Home's a drone.
Let's go this way. Oliver, get in your pram. In your pram. In your pram, Oliver.
Far more wild what's going on. A bit too long.
Alright, everybody, we're in Carrickmacross here, County Monaghan. We're protesting the mass immigration invasion. And Carrickmacross has seen a lot of antisocial behaviour. There's hundreds of people here from the local community to oppose the invasion here that's happening. Women can't walk the streets, our children can't play in the streets. This is a park here now that's unsafe. It used to be safe not so long ago, but because some greedy landlords and Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael regime have opened our borders, destroyed our communities, and championed on by Sinn Féin. Now, Sinn Féin claimed to be opposition, but down in Dublin there a few weeks ago, we were opposing government policy, opposing immigration. But what were Sinn Féin doing? Championing on Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael. They were championing on the regime. They were opposing us, men who were concerned about the mass immigration invasion. So I say Sinn Féin are traitors, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, they're all traitors. And it's time to the people power, bring the power back to the people, because these politicians, they couldn't care less about the Irish people. They're hell-bent on destroying Ireland, and I say no to it. So let's march the streets of Carrickmacross now.
And I would have paid me on you told me.
Wait till everybody gets in. And everybody, let's all march up together. We're one people. Tricolours up in the air! Tricolours up! We walk slowly now. Right, one in now. Tricolours up in the air! Tricolours up in the air! we are in Carrickmacross. We are loads of anti-social behaviour. There's a woman there who ran on the streets attacking people with a knife. People of Carrickmacross are saying no more. So get out there, stand up for your communities. There's been a fall in the deal, you can change the proposed disintegration on the 60s, chanting along by chanting. And they'll go to say
It's not easy.
Alright everybody, we are in Carrickmacross, County Monaghan here. Hundreds of locals here are marching the streets of Carrickmacross because it's no longer safe. There's huge levels of migration to this beautiful wee town here in County Monaghan. And people of Monaghan, people of Carrickmacross, and people of Ireland have said no. The children can't play in the streets anymore, women can't walk the streets anymore. In the last number of years, a number of Irishmen have been killed on the streets by migrants, and the people say enough is enough. Stop the immigration invasion. We have to put an end to it. We've opened borders, mass immigration with the European Union, with EU Migration Pact, and something has to give here. The Irish are quickly becoming a minority in our own country, and I say enough is enough. So the very least you can do is share these videos with all your friends and family. Let's get the message out there. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, Telegram, WhatsApp groups, Facebook groups. Send it to your mother, send it to your father. Get the message out there. And we handed out well over 100 flags here now, tricolours. We did that for free because we want to instill nationalism in the people of Carrickmacross of Ireland. So if you want to support our work, you can do so. There's a flag fund in the description. Help us get more flags. We've got 4,000 flags coming our way, 4 different Irish nationalist flags. You can join as a member, get involved in real life political action. We handed out 800 newspapers to our party newspaper, the Irish Lifford. So get involved. It's fantastic to see so many people out here on the streets of Carrickmacross. It's a beautiful wee town. And see a beautiful cathedral or a beautiful church in the town centre. And that's what we're fighting for. We're fighting for our culture, we're fighting for our heritage, we're fighting for our people. We're hitting the streets. We're trying to, tell the regime, the powers that be, that we've had enough. So why share these videos with your friends and family? Let's get the message out there. We're doing our best to raise awareness. We're doing everything we can. We cannot do any more. Thanks to everyone for supporting us and sharing these streams with all your friends and family. I'm very, very grateful for all your support. I think you should agree the tricolours, the flags, make it look very, very good. Thanks to everyone for supporting us so far, for allowing us to get these flags. We're trying to get thousands more. The more we bring in, the more flags we can give to the people of Ireland. And we've got Irish tricolours. We've got next week. They're supposed to be here this week, but they've been delayed. Irish tricolours, 4 provinces flags, Erringo Bra flags, and Irish Republic flags. That's going to add a serious element to our protest, make it look really, really serious, very professional, and that we mean business. So support our work. Chip into our flag fund below in the description, alright? God bless you.
Everybody's getting the streets in Dublin. Whose town?
Our town!
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 Get the man!
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 Whose town?
Our town!
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 Get the man!
Get the man!
Get the man!
Get the man!
Get the man! Get the man! All right, let's go for need new government! Traitor! Carrickmacross is no! Carrickmacross is no! Carrickmacross is no! Carrickmacross is no!
All right, let it go again.
Let the free birds fly! Not chickpeas! Two more. Yeah. There's the guards! Hello!
Stop.
If you want to
What are you doing?
Carrickmacross says no! Carrickmacross says
You know we'll watch it tomorrow later on.
Say your speech now.
The reason they're upset, the locals are upset, the town is no longer safe.
All right,
There's crime, there's skyrocketing.
Right, hello everyone. I'd like to really appreciate Alan from view from all across from North Carrick and it's a long walk along, but you will trying to make it better. Because that's the sitting down and keep it close to people that rather than trying to call it down to each everyone. That's basically it. Okay, good night.
Did he actually just shout Ireland Mommy, imagine the whole city was
Alright. Hey, I'll give you a breaker now, so hold on to it for a second. I'll put this thing back in my bag. Right?
They don't know where the tax money's going. Oh, back in the day, the same as us. Back in the day,
Hey, thanks very much. Hello. Alright, everybody. Niall back here again. Thanks to the cameraman for helping me out. Is the live chat working there? It's great to see so many people in the live chat. Welcome each and every one of you. If you're new, please subscribe if you're not subscribed. How's it going, Gertie? If you're new, please subscribe. Please, there's John Wilson. We'll go try and get a chat with John, will we? I'm going to go try and chat to John Wilson here. I see him, the former Garda. All right.
If they introduce the hate speech bill, right?
Yes.
What I say,
I'll laugh for a minute there, will you?
Sure, yeah. Go ahead.
Just, yeah,
Go ahead.
can rearrange this here.
Using the word plantation farm or plantation centre.
That's right.
Invaders. That's hate speech.
That's right, yeah. And that's what's happening. That's right.
Okay.
You can't talk about what's happening in reality.
It's not the fun. It's not there now. That's the problem. It's whatever you believe in. Every complaint. Go away. That's not hate speech. Because they go to fucking Jesus and they go.
That's right.
So every complaint is really
Northern 45 on it.
approved for it. Right?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
telling you, we are in fucking hell.
Oh, yeah. That's
But the thing is,
Good man, thanks so much.
Oh, what?
Oh, you up at there, can you? Oh, right, I'm Mark, guys. Madwood. I'd like to get a chat with him.
That was the first man there mentioned it to me because he is a company for kids at school. And what was happening in Carrick. We're heading this way, yeah.
schools are now indoctrination centres. That's the problem.
John, do you want to chat there?
People get bored of me. Getting fucking bored.
Right. John, former Garda whistleblower, what did you think of today and what, tell us what's happening.
Well, I was invited to speak again here this evening.
And you're looking sharp?
I'm very grateful and very honoured to have been asked.
Right.
These people are wonderful people. They're passionately committed to saving our country. But listen, this movement is growing organically. I know, the size of the crowd this evening. I mean, the crowd 2 weeks ago appeared to be larger, but it's a very warm day and people are busy and their busy lives, But I mean, listen, we have to get out and fight. If we don't get out and fight, the government won't have any worries.
No, absolutely. We saw a strong. You're a former Garda yourself. We saw a strong presence of Gardaí down there. What was that all about?
Well, they were there to protect the owner of the suspected owner of a plantation centre.
Right. Okay. No one here has ever called for violence, but I think it was a bit over the top.
Listen, the policing the last day 2 weeks ago was over the top.
Yeah.
But you can understand, the local police commander, they're trying to get very worried when the protests are taking place in their towns.
Yeah.
Sir, get him out, you know what I'm saying? Swagger on that one.
They allocate the necessary resources that they see fit to allocate.
And now we're seeing these IPAS centres, migrant centres opening up all over the country.
Plantation centres.
Plantation centres is a good word to use. What is the end goal here? You've been in the Gardaí yourself. You've seen what's happening. What's your opinion of the whole thing?
The end goal is that the government are planning. They're making plans for 10 years ahead.
Yeah.
And as far as that's the stark reality now. They're planning. They have plans. They are making plans. They are making long-term plans. This is not going to be a short-term problem.
No. Do you think it's like a wiping out of the Irish people, or is it just because the Irish birth rate's low? Is it replacement by immigration?
This is an invasion.
Yeah.
Okay, it's an invasion.
Yeah. You see, for example, down in what's called County Tipperary, Clonmel. Them migrant camps. It looks like something out of a World War II or something, like a military-style base camps. What do you make of all them? What's your opinions on them?
Well, I think you know my opinion very well. Everybody who arrives in this country through Northern Ireland should be deported within hours. Okay, they shouldn't be given an opportunity to go to the legal process in our country and drag it out for several years. The reality is, the government deported 39 Georgians.
Yeah, recently,
a couple of weeks ago. Okay,
needs to be 390,000.
Our government will never have any problem deporting white Christians back to a Christian country on the edge of Europe. But I can give you a guarantee, the proposed plantation centre in Bundoran, where they're going to put in at least between 70 and 80 Somalians, those Somalians will never be leaving Ireland.
No. But like,
once they're allowed to get a foothold in Ireland, they will never be leaving.
How come Ireland, like when you were in the Gardaí, how come, like, was there any talk of like a deportation unit, like in America you got ICE? How come Ireland don't, like we asked them to voluntary self-deport? Why don't we do it? It's ridiculous, isn't it?
I mean, listen, if it wasn't so serious, it would be humorous.
Yeah, but like there's like serious sex offenders, violent criminals who are convicted. They do their time, and then they get a letter in the post saying, "Can you please leave our country in 2 weeks?" It's shambolic.
Listen, let's talk about the European membership of the European Union first, right? Criminals, a criminal could be released from prison today in Poland today. Okay?
Yes.
And he could be living beside you or next door to you in Donegal within 24 hours, or as soon as he can get a Ryanair flight over here. There is absolutely no vetting.
Yeah.
There's no vetting of anybody coming to this country.
Yeah, but you bring up a good point there, because this town has suffered a killing of a young man called Seamus Bell by a Lithuanian, and from my understanding, he had a violent criminal past in Lithuania. How come the Gardaí can't, or the Immigration Bureau can't stop criminals like that? He had a bad...
Shane O'Farrell was also brutally
Shane O'Farrell,
killed by a serial criminal offender from Lithuania. Yeah. Listen, there's no legal impediment to deporting these people. Okay? We have to accept hard-working, law-abiding people from Lithuania and throughout Eastern Europe and from the rest of the European Union. Okay?
Yeah.
But there's no legal impediment to deporting criminals from these countries. They should be vetted coming into this country.
How come they're not? That's the question. Well, because the Gardaí and the Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael keep telling us, oh, everyone coming in here is vetted, but they're obviously lying. How come they're not? Why are they not vetted? Is it intentional? What's it all about?
There's nobody vetted. There's no vetting for people coming in here from within the European Union. Okay, so that's why on the 1st of January 2004, as I've said before, Ireland became a dumping ground for Eastern European criminals and social welfare tourists.
Yes.
Okay, now we are a dumping ground for the rest of the world as well. Okay, the detritus of the third world are coming to this country and being welcomed with open arms by Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, and Sinn Féin. And the rest of the flipping Ireland last politicians in Leicester House, okay? That's a fact, all right? There's no willingness to vet anybody. There's no willingness to deport anybody. They're just bluffing, right?
It's like the Irish people are lambs to the slaughter.
We are lambs to the slaughter.
Really, that's true.
We are rapidly heading to becoming the minority in our own country.
Yeah. Within the next...
Keir Starmer, in fairness to Keir Starmer...
Which way are we going here?
It's amazing what bad election results do, right?
He changes tune
Keir
very
Starmer
quickly.
made 2 speeches in the last week, okay, that if Nigel Farage had made them, he would be heavily criticised by our mainstream media here. He said that, to paraphrase what he says that Great Britain is becoming, it's becoming an island of strangers.
Yeah,
in the same way that Irish people will become strangers in our own land if we don't act now.
And Ireland's such a small country compared to the UK. What's it, 55, 60 million in the UK, and there's only 5 million in here. Ireland will be engulfed so much quicker than the UK.
I'd say, Tucker Carlson said that in 100 years' time, Irish people will be a minority.
About 20 years?
It won't take.
Won't take that. It'll take 20 years, maybe 30 years max.
I'd say we'll have a fair idea the next
10 years, we'll have a good idea.
15 years, we'll have a fair idea of where we're heading.
Yeah, and they combine that with low birth rate. The indigenous birth rate's really, really low.
Yeah, but as I said, the recorded birth rate in Ireland includes all women giving birth on the island of Ireland.
It bumps the birth rate up.
It doesn't include foreign nationals giving birth in this country. It only records all births.
I was doing some of the math and extrapolated that the birth rate among the indigenous is 1.1. It's that low. To sustain a population, you need a birth rate of 2.1. women or 2.1 children per woman. We're only having 1.1. It's national suicide.
Yeah, and I need a solution. Divert our overseas aid budget.
Yeah, divert.
Okay? Divert our overseas aid budget to a fund to incentivise Irish women to have babies. How about that?
Yeah.
Like Viktor Orban has done.
But even Hungary have changed their family planning policy, and it's very pro-life and pro-family. They haven't bumped their birth rate that much. They've done well, but like Ireland's family planning policy is very, very poor. No, they're very anti-family. So unless things change very, very quickly, we're facing a complete destruction of the Irish people.
There are thousands of Irish women.
Yes.
That would love to settle down and have babies. Okay. There are many Irish women that already have maybe one child and they would love to have a second child. They just can't afford to have a second child. They can't afford to have a second child. Okay? You have couples living together on good wages. They cannot afford rent in this country, let alone buy a house or have children.
Yeah, they're not financially incentivized to have.
That's why if we were to divert the money we're wasting in overseas aid and put that money into a fund and to assist Irish women to give birth to Irish babies.
Or divert some of the money we're spending on housing all these migrants.
Yeah. Listen, I could also, the housing situation, it's a major, it's the number one issue of the country at the moment, okay?
Yeah, but a lot of people don't seem to understand that housing and immigration is completely linked.
I could create accommodation today for tens of thousands of people by deporting all of the foreign criminals and the social welfare tourists that have come into this country since the 1st of January 2004. In addition, I would also deport all of the bogus asylum seekers. There are no genuine asylum seekers in Ireland. Every single person that claims asylum in Ireland after travelling through safe countries to get here is a bogus asylum seeker.
John Mulson for Garda Commissioner, everybody, what do you think?
I don't think so somehow.
No, you'd probably not be selected, will you, John? But anyway, look, I must go home here, right? It was good chatting to you, John, and sure, I'm planning to have you on sometime soon. Maybe Sunday or so.
Perfect, yeah.
Good man.
I want to talk, that sounded okay. I want to test out the old system, and my daughter's setting up the microphone.
Alright, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, someone's calling my name. Oh, my comrades in arms down there. So, alright, look, everybody, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe if you're not subscribed already. If you want to support our work, you can do so by subscribing, sharing, liking. But also, we've handed out hundreds of flags here today. If you want to support our flag fund, we're trying to put 4,000 Irish flags on the streets of Ireland. There's a link in the description, in the live chat, pinned to the comment section to support our work. Join as a member, get involved in real life political action. And we are doing our best to attend all these protests, hand out flags, distribute newspapers, providing you live streams. We're doing everything we can to raise awareness to what's happening in our country. So thanks to the moderators as well, Sean Mack, good man yourself, Reno. Who else is in there? You can hold on to it if you want.
Thanks.
No bother.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
A lady here was asking me that I want my flag back, but no, I want them to hold on to it and bring it to other protests. So any questions there now before I log off? Must go back home now and give a hand in the house. The poor wife, she's got a newborn, and I'm running the roads down to Carrickmacross. So it's got to be done. We all must play our part. Alright everybody, I'm going to leave it there. Subscribe, share these videos with all your friends and family. Join as a member, get involved in real life political action, chip into our flag fund. Let's put thousands of Irish nationalist flags on the streets. God bless you all.